Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And I have brought several meditation books with me today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one of them is the very first meditation book that I ever owned. So I think I'm going to read from that today. It's a very recovery-based meditation book, but I'm really excited about that. I was looking in the basement because I knew I had put my book, The Magic, which we're going to talk about in just a second, down in the basement. And when I was down there, I found a copy of this 24-hour-a-day book, which is not typically one of the meditation books that I read anymore. So we're going to talk about that in just a second. But I wanted to bring out my copy of The Magic and show it to you because we're going to start this on Monday. This is the book that I've been talking about that is about gratitude and about practicing gratitude. So I want to read it to you really, really quickly to see. There's so many people that have mentioned in the comment sections that they purchased it on Amazon, that they're waiting for it to come. My good Judy that I know in recovery, she texted me a picture. She purchased the book. So I'm really excited about doing this over here. I've actually said I was going to do it for quite some time. And me actually saying, do you guys want to do it together? Is really me being able to hold myself accountable to finishing it. So I'm really excited about that. Okay. So here's the book, and it is called The Magic, and it's by Rhonda Byrne, and she's the one that wrote The Secret. One word changes everything. For more than 20 centuries, words within a sacred text have mystified, confused, and been misinterpreted by almost all who read them. Only a very few people through history have realized that the words are a riddle, and that once you solve the riddle, once you uncover the mystery, a new world will appear before your eyes. In The Magic, Rhonda Byrne reveals this life-changing knowledge to the world. Then, on an incredible 28-day journey, she teaches you how to apply this knowledge in your everyday life. No matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter what your current circumstances, The Magic is going to change your entire life. And I have to tell you, okay, so this is, actually, I have the dates written on here of when I did it and stuff. And I have this bookmark in here that says, if you truly love a book, you should sleep with it, write in it, read aloud from it, and fill its pages with muffin crumbs. Anne Fademan. I have this little bookmark in there. I don't know when I did it. It said February something. It said I wrote oh, here it is, 2/5. I must have started it on February the 5th. What I really loved was when she talks about gratitude in here. Let me read you just the beginning part. Do you believe in magic? Those who don't believe in magic will never find it. Roald Dahl, writer. Remember when you were a child and you looked at life in total wonder and awe? This is what sold me on this book right here. Remember when you were a child and you looked at life in total wonder and awe? Life was magical and exciting, and the smallest things were utterly thrilling to you. You were fascinated by the frost on the grass, a butterfly flittering through the air, or any strange leaf or rock on the ground. You were full of excitement when you lost a tooth because it meant the tooth fairy would be coming that night. And you would count down the days to that magical night of Christmas, even though you had no idea how Santa Claus could get to every child in the world in one night. Somehow he did it, and he never let you down. Reindeer could fly, there were fairies in the garden, pets were like people, toys had personalities, dreams came true, and you could touch the stars. Your heart was full of joy, your imagination knew no limits, and you believed that life was magical. There is an exquisite feeling many of us had as children, that everything is good, that every day promises more excitement and adventure, and that nothing could ever thwart our joy for the magic of it all. But somehow, as we grew into adults, responsibilities, problems, and difficulties took their toll on us. We became disillusioned, and the magic we once believed in as children faded and disappeared. It's one of the reasons why as adults we love to be around children, so that we can experience that feeling we once had, even if it's just for a moment. I'm here to tell you that the magic you once believed in is true, and it's a disillusioned adult perspective of life that is false. The magic of life is real, and it's as real as you are. In fact, life can be far more wondrous than you ever thought it was as a child, and more breathtaking, awe-inspiring, and exciting than anything you've ever seen before. When you know what to do to bring forth the magic, you will live the life of your dreams. Then you will wonder how you ever could have given up in believing in the magic of life. You may not see reindeer fly, but you will see the things you've always wanted appearing before your eyes, and you will see the things you've dreamed of for so long suddenly happening. You will never know exactly how everything weaved together for your dreams to come true, because magic works in the invisible realm, and that's the most thrilling part. Are you ready to experience the magic again? Are you ready to be filled with awe and wonder every day like when you were a child? Yes, I am. Get ready for the magic. our adventure begins 2,000 years ago when life-changing knowledge was hidden within a sacred text. And she goes in here and she talks about okay. But anyway, so before Monday, probably you should read up, if you get the book in advance, you should probably read up to day 1, which is page 28. But I just read up to page 5 in the book, so it goes really, really fast. So, and then I wrote on here the day that I started it, which was 2/5. You're going to want to have a notebook because there are activities that you do in here. I had a notebook that actually had pockets inside of it, like a really just cheap composition book. And that actually helped because there's at one point you use pictures. It was so funny because I was just sitting here and I was thinking to myself that there's this restaurant here in town called Yats. And it's red beans and rice and it's like Cajun food. And there's an exercise in here in being grateful for all the food you've been given in your life, and you do this magical, you sprinkle this thing over your food. Anyway, it's going to sound corny until you get there, and then it kind of makes sense, and then it still seems corny, but I did it anyway. And I can remember that day, I went to go eat at Yats, and I don't know how I remember that, because I just remember sitting there in Yats and going over this exercise in my head and going through and thinking about the people that had farmed all of this, and you go back and you think in your head all of the people that were responsible for it. It's literally breaking down gratitude to its deepest fundamental core, and it really makes you appreciate life on a whole new level. And this is the book that when I did this, Alex, my husband, said that I was the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. So join along with me if you'd like. I'm really excited about doing this. I've actually recommended this book to a couple other people and they've loved it as well. So I'm excited about starting this, and we're going to start this on Monday. So Monday I will probably be referring to day 1 in here, and it is called Count Your Blessings. I don't know if you need to read ahead. It'll usually tell you if you need to read ahead. Let me see. I think it tells you if you need to read ahead for the next day. It'll say, a magic reminder, make sure to read tomorrow's magical practice sometime today, as you will need to do something specific before you begin tonight. So on day 1, you don't need to do that. You just need to wake up on day 1 and read day 1. So, which there's a quote by Willie Nelson. When I started counting my blessings, my whole life turned around. So anyway, okay, so Monday we are going to start day 1 on here, and I'm really, really excited about this. All right. Let's get into the meditation. Now, the book that I am going to read to you from today is the 24 Hours a Day book, and it's a Hazelden meditation book. And this, oh my God, this is my mom's copy of it, because it says in here, this book given to me by my son, Peter A. Monn, December 1992, which was long before we got sober. First time that she went to a meeting is what she said. And she even wrote down what the meeting was in here. Okay, interesting. So the 24 Hours a Day book is, it says, it's forward, 24 hours a day is intended for members of, and it's a specific 12-step program. I'm sure many of you can probably figure out which one. To help in the program of living one day at a time. Is designed for those who want to start each day with a few minutes of thought, meditation, and prayer. These daily readings contain most of the material used in the booklet and other program literature. Okay, so anyway, but I'm gonna, wait, what is this that my mother, oh, she even has what this is from. There's a poem at the very beginning that's a Sanskrit proverb. Look to this day, for it is life, the very life of life. In its brief course lie all the realities and verities of existence, the bliss of growth, the splendor of action, the glory of power. For yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow is only a vision. But today, well lived, makes every yesterday a dream of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Look well, therefore, to this day. And she has written underneath here from Dr. Andrew Weil's book, Healing in Sanskrit, Breath and Spirit are the same. All right, so let's go in here and read. Oh, my mother, she has all kinds of things highlighted in here. And what does she have? Little scriptures. She has all kinds of little pieces of paper and things underlined. Oh, my Lord. Wouldn't it be so funny if I got to today's and it was like a highlighted one? What is today? Today's November 5th. Okay. November 5th, thought for the day. During our thoughts about the rewards that have come to us as a result of our new way of living, we find that we have new kinds of homes, new relationships with our husbands or wives and our children, also peace, contentment, hope, faith, charity, and new ambition. What are some of the things we have lost? Each one of us can answer this question in many ways. I have lost much of my fear. It used to control me. It was my master. It paralyzed my efforts. Fear always got me down. It made me an introvert, an ingrown person. When fear was replaced by faith, I got well. Have I lost some of my fears? God, I don't know why I'm getting so emotional off this today. Meditation for the day. The world would sooner be brought close to God. His will would sooner be done on earth if all who acknowledge him gave themselves unreservedly to being used by him, whatever your higher power is. God can use every human being as a channel for divine love and power. What delays the bringing of the world closer to God is the backwardness of his followers. If each one lived each day for God and allowed God to work through him, then the world would soon be drawn much closer to God, its founder and preserver. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may be used as a channel to express the divine love. I pray that I may so live as to bring God's spirit closer to the world. You know, it's really interesting how biblical this is because, you know, when I first got sober, I had a huge issue with that. I had a huge issue with kind of the biblical nature of recovery. It seemed to me that way at first. I didn't understand, you know, really that you could believe in whatever you wanted to believe in, that people really, really, truly do believe that, you know, and, but I don't also know what I was so afraid of. And I remember I was at this meeting. I tell this story a lot, but I was at this meeting and it was kind of a popular at the time, like Friday night meeting. Everybody got dressed up and went to it, and it was downtown, and it was a huge meeting. There's probably 100 or 200 people there. And at one point I got up and I went to the back of the room and like smoked a cigarette, and this woman came up to me, and I can remember they were just like, it was like God, 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 God. And she said, why did you leave the meeting? And she said something like, I know you're new here. Why did you leave the meeting? And I said, oh, it's a lot of God stuff. I don't want to hear it. And she was like, is that what you heard? Well, actually what she said, she came up to me and she gave me a hug. She goes, hi, she said her name, and I said, I'm Peter, and I put my hand out, and she goes, oh no, she's like, baby, we hug at this meeting. And then when I said to her, she goes, why did you leave the meeting? And I said, because they were just talking about God, and it was just a lot of Bible thumping to me, and I really didn't want to hear it. And she was like, is that what you heard? And she was like, baby, take what you like and leave the rest. She was like, you know, she was like, this is, you believe what you want to believe. We're not here to push anybody away. And I think that today, what I know is that when I see, or when I have seen, today I don't feel this way, but when I would see people that truly in their heart of hearts could speak of faith, of whatever that faith was that they had in their hearts, okay? Whether that was faith in the universe, or faith in a higher power, or faith in whatever their religious belief was, or whatever. Like, because I had never experienced that internalization of spiritual belief, like, I was so resistant to that. I was so scared of that, right? You know, when we talk about, you know, that we're founded in 100 forms of fear, and I think about that, you know, I think about how, like, my whole life was led in fear, and maybe that's what I was crying about, you know, it's like, when you, I think, start really, like, trusting in, you know, in whatever that is, that's a power greater than yourself, whether, you know, that's, like I said, the universe, or you know, a God, or, you know, because, like, back when I got sober, people would say, like, good orderly direction, standing for God, you know, whatever. For me today, it is a higher power, and, like, I don't feel alone today. I don't feel as afraid. But I was so resistant for so long, you know? I have gained so much from being sober. You know, I can remember before I got sober being so afraid of, like, everything that I was going to lose. I wasn't going to be able to do this, and I wasn't going to be able to do that, and I wasn't going to be able to go here, and I wasn't going to be able to go there, and I wasn't going to be able to hang out with these people or that people. You know, all I looked at was what I was going to lose as a result of me being sober. I never looked at what I was going to gain, you know? And it's funny how it terms it in here, like, what have you lost? I have only gained. I have only gained as a result of being sober, you know? I can't think of any way in my life that, I mean, even if, like, I was granted a daily reprieve to go out and get blackout drunk, I wouldn't do it. Like, I wouldn't even opt for that today. Like, I wouldn't want it, you know? clarity of mind is so much more of a natural high to me today than anything that I had back in the day, because I was so, like, this is where I think people really don't understand. And this is just my personal belief. You do you, okay? But this is why I do believe in 12-step programs, and this is why I do believe in counseling, and this is why I do believe in, like, spiritual beliefs and things like that. Because, listen, the drink or the drug is but a symptom of something greater that is going on, right? So once you stop drinking and using, it's not... Congratulations to people that have quit drinking and using, right? Like, I think that's fantastic because I don't want people to die, okay? But some of those people will never pick up again. But some of those people will live lives filled with anger, resentment, and never having worked on issues of their past. Like, I want to work on that stuff. I want every day to possibly be the best possible version of itself, better than the day before, right? And that's what all of this work allows me to do. It allows me to have this great life. The reality is, you know, like, I don't have the same crap in my life that I had back then, or I've already dealt with this stuff that was just hanging over my head back then. So I don't really have the need in my head today to drink or use drugs or whatever, because I can, all of the reasons why I did back then are gone. So if I've lost anything, I've lost the reason to use today. Like, all of the reasons, like, I mean, watch my drama channel. I have no problem laughing at myself, flipping fans, and being fun. Back in the day, I would have had to have 5 drinks to do that. You know what I mean? I sing on a channel to how many people that I don't know are going to watch me. Back in the day, I wouldn't have even got in a karaoke bar. I probably still wouldn't today, you know, and sang a song because I would have been so terrified. But I'm not that terrified today. I still have a lot of social anxiety, but, like, I've worked through a lot of that stuff, you know? And that's what really recovery gives us, is that ongoing work towards improving ourselves inside, right? Because it's really not about, you know, like, I mean, if you look at a 12-step program, the words alcohol and drugs are only in the very first step. I mean, that says a lot in itself, you know, like, and any 12-step program, this whatever it is, whether it's gambling, whether it's shopping, or whether it's listed literally only within, like, the very first step. So when you think about it from that point of view, you know, it's spirituality, 12-step programs, counseling, and all of that is to help us inside of ourselves, which is why I encourage addicts and alcoholics all the time that have, like, quit cold turkey. I'm like, that's great, right? But, like, there's more to it than that. So please work on yourselves inside, right? I would be remiss if I didn't say that, you know, to help people out, because that's where I think the real difference was for me. You know, I could string 5 or 10 days together, but, like, I think what really got me back was then I would get into a fight with somebody, or I would get angry, or I would get fearful, or I would get scared, or I would get, you know, it was like I was such a alcoholic and addict that was fueled by anger and resentment that if one of those pieces came up and I had nobody of support to call and talk to, that I went right back to what I knew, because that's really what I wanted to do anyway, was the drink or the drug, right? So I was looking for excuses for that anyway. But what have I lost? Maybe reasons to use, you know, maybe that. Maybe the need, the feeling of needing to use. But what have I gained? I've gained some of the best friends I've ever had in my entire life. I've gained fellowship of a group of people that understands where I'm coming from. And I never felt that before. You know, I've gained having relationships in my life. I don't fight. I cease fighting people today. I try to, at least, you know. And I have a chance. Like, I have a chance today for every day that I don't, you know, pick up and drink and use. I mean, it's a daily reprieve, right? And I have that today. That's something that I have. Like, those are all things I could sit here and list 100 things that I've gained. My relationship with my parents, my relationship, you know, with my cousin and that side of the family, my husband, my relationship with his family, all these things that weren't even present in my life long before I ever got sober, but they wouldn't be here today if I hadn't gotten sober, you know? And it all comes down to this lunch that I had with my dad like a year ago, and I looked at him and I said, do you ever think about, like, what would have happened if I would have kept on drinking and using? And he looked at me, I mean, like, without missing a beat, and he said, you would be dead. And I go, oh my God, I said, you said that pretty quick. You really think so? He goes, oh, I know so. You would be dead. So what have I gained? I've gained a life. Like, I have a life today. Like, and isn't that enough? You know? And above that, I have a life beyond my wildest dreams. I got everything I ever wanted, you know? It's pretty magical. And I think that's what moves me to tears. is because of all the people out there that are still suffering. It makes me so sad because they don't realize what they could have. So anyway, I love you guys. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.